Hi there. We are Geeks Assembled, and today we will be discussing an album which was released in June of 1986. It was the 12th studio album by this particular band. This album got to the #1 spot in the UK. This album sold 6 million copies worldwide. So it was one of their most successful of the 80s.
Not bad.
Not bad, of the 80s. And also as well, it stands as an unofficial soundtrack to the 1986 movie Highlander. As there was not an official soundtrack released to the movie. So this band took it on themselves just to put the song together and bang them out on an album. Of the 9 tracks on the album, 6 of the tracks appeared in the movie. We'll get around to those tracks, what didn't, as we go along. We are talking, of course, A Kind of Magic by Queen. As we're all pointing there, and Susan's got that behind her there. This was Queen's last album, not last studio album, but the last album promoted with a tour, because the year after, in 1987, Freddie Mercury was diagnosed with the disease which would end his life. So this was the last album promoted with a tour, a sellout tour. Was it the Magic Tour? Magic Tour, I think it was called.
Yeah, the Magic Tour.
So we'll go around and we'll have opening thoughts of what these guys think, then we'll go through the tracks and stuff. So, Ethan, what's your opening thoughts on A Kind of Magic by Queen?
Well, what can you say? It's Queen, ain't it? But yeah, this I would actually say, yeah, well, it is. This is my favorite album by Queen. And reason being, I think if I remember rightly, back in the early 90s, back in the days when I was a kid, Mum would go to work, my dad would look after me. We'd always stay up and watch various movies. And one of the movies was Highlander. And as soon as I watched it as a kid, I just fell in love with the movie, the music, the songs. And that's when I was like, oh, I really like this. And I fell in love with the TV series Highlander, which was one of the best shows we ever had back then. But yeah, and then right after it, I was given this as a present because I kept going on about it. So we found the album and just bought it for me. So I've had this since I was a kid. And yeah, and then after that, I was a massive Queen fan. I just love every one of them. But yeah, no, as you said, this is like, it is like slash soundtrack of the movie of Highlander, movie about immortals with Christopher Lambert, Sean Connery, what's his name, Clancy Brown, and Roxanna Hart. But the songs that were used in this fit it perfectly because they all are all magical, pun intended, because of the whole mythical fantasy style with the immortals, almost like magic powers, can't die. And each song that was used back in the days where songs worked perfectly in movies, each scene used the song perfectly. And yeah, this is one of my top favorite albums of all time. Probably one of my top 5. And it's one I just listened to again and again and again and again. And I remember I watched the music video of Kind of Magic, which I'll get around. But yeah, no, it's beautiful cover, beautiful soundtrack. Just, to me, the best of the best.
Well, I'm sorry you don't like it, Ethan. We'll go over to Boston. UK calling Boston. How did you two then? How did you come across this album?
It was in the movie Highlander. Saw that in the theater, loved it. And then shortly thereafter, I started working at KGLT, the non-commercial public radio station in Bozeman, Montana. And it's still the best radio station in Bozeman. And it's available on the web at www.kglt.net. And there's a streamer for your device. Anyway, started working there, and the record was there. It came in on vinyl, and then within a couple of years they bought the CD. So, because that was like the sheer zone between LP and CD. But I used to play it all the time on my radio show. I started off apprenticing with a guy who did sort of speed metal, but then my first radio show alone was on Tuesday nights in the graveyard slot, doing heavy metal or doing hard rock, and slowly but surely I turned the corner to classic rock. And these guys were classics because they'd started in the British invasion, and they had, so I played these guys a lot. I played this record over and over and over again. It only had 10 tracks on it back then, or 10 or 11 tracks anyway. It didn't have the full complement of the CD, but I love this album. And it's a kind of, we'll get to the tracks because Lee does it a certain way here in these podcasts. And so I'll just hold off on that. Here's Alex. How did you discover it?
Well, my mother was a big fan of Queen, always has been. I started listening to it in 76. Even though she enjoyed the Village People, she said, well, it's cute, but they're not real musicians. You want to deal with real musicians. And she said that, you can like a song a little bit, or you can like a song because it's fun, or you can dance to it, or you can hum along to it. But real music, just like the Beatles, even the Stones, even though I don't like to admit it, their music's been around forever. Queen has been around now for what, since 72 or whatever?
72, 73, yeah.
Yeah, so I remember sometimes she would actually watch videos and realize that they had put some subtext in them, but they were more subtle than the Village People. And I say, yeah, the Village People aren't real musicians. They're not real, plus not only are Queen real musicians, but they write, they produce, and they play, and they have doctorates, right? Who's the professor in the group?
It's Brian May.
Brian May.
Professor May.
Yep. So, that's the other thing that unfortunately I'm going to sound like an old man, but this was the days of musical groups and music and singers and people that they had real talent and they had powerful talent, and it wasn't a gimmick, and it wasn't auto-tune, and it wasn't rap, and it wasn't just based on, a gimmick or a movie. I think they were actually in 3 movies, but they had the 2 ones of Flash and the Highlander. And even though those are cheesy movies, it does keep with the Queen. We're different. We're boys. We're going to play, and we're going to play. We Will Rock You. Now, I haven't seen the musical. I admit that. But you have to admit, when you see their videos, too, that it was different than all the other videos. It wasn't the same thing. It wasn't, weird cars flying around or special effects that made absolutely no sense. Almost all the videos. And, yeah, because they also were in, what is it?
Metropolis.
Metropolis as well. With Love Kills or whatever?
Radio Gaga.
And Radio Gaga. Now, I didn't like that song as much. But I know people that love that song. It activates them. So that's part of being a musician as well, just like the Rock Me Amadeus. It's kind of the energy, the soul, the passion. It just travels through you like lightning. And that's what Freddie could do. Freddie could even when he wasn't on his best day, he did better than 10 other singers. I don't know about Adam Lambert. I guess he does have talent, but he's not Freddie. Freddie, like I said, like the "We Will Rock You" video, it's so 70s. It's so simple. They're in the snow. They're banging on, with their boots. The beat. They got the the hand clap going. I mean, it's just great. So even though I don't like every single song, it's great to listen to them because every song is different. Every style is different. If you don't like one song, there's 10 other ones to choose from easy. And they wrote their own songs too. Freddie wrote songs as well. So, I mean, that's what my mother said. My mother said that's the nice thing about them. Every song is completely different. Every song has soul. Every song is smart. It's just wondrous to listen to. It's real rock, classical music with, tons of energy. Yep. And it's sad that there's so few bands that can actually do even half, of what they can do. And it's a shame that he had to die of AIDS or complications of AIDS because I think he could have done another 10 years and still owned, unfortunately,
the stage.
A lot of people. I think the only other competition, I don't know, was there anybody else that could beat him? Maybe Elton John could beat him, but
in this day and age now, the most leading man now in a band, I would say, is Bono.
Yeah.
He knows how to, as Freddie did, play with the audience. Bono does the same thing.
Yeah. But I mean, they're good, but I don't like them as much as Queen though. But yeah, as far as the songs in there, it's great. It's just like Flash. It activates you. You go, man, I'm listening, and you remember it. It's great. I don't like every song on the album, but I like 90%, and it's just great. It just like Highlander. It's just fun. It's fun.
Okay. Well, for me, I just can't remember how long ago I got into Queen. It might have been when I was about 5, because my mother used to be a barmaid, and she used to take me to work and shove me upstairs while she was working behind the bar on a night time. And it must have been 1975, because what song annoyed her the most on the jukebox was Bohemian Rhapsody. Because Bohemian Rhapsody played, and then it was played again. It was played again, and it was played nearly 7 minutes on a jukebox. And if you're working behind a bar in a pub or wherever, it can get a bit. And that's, as far as I remember, that's my earliest memory of Queen is Bohemian Rhapsody on a jukebox. And ever since then, I've just loved them. I like every album they've done. Is a slightly different thing. 70s it was rock, 80s they went sort of synth rock pop, but it was still Queen. Let's say we are talking about, of course, the 1986 A Kind of Magic. So we'll get on to the track listing now. 9 tracks in total. And if you got the CD version, there's 3 extra tracks, but they're just instrumentals, really. Right, track 1, One Vision, was released in the UK as a single.
Oh, it was on Iron Eagle.
Yeah, it was in the film Iron Eagle. It was released in November '85 in the UK as a single. Got to number 7 in the UK charts. This is one of the songs what wasn't featured in Highlander. As I say, it was an Iron Eagle movie. So, guys, what's your take on One Vision? Open floor, so we'll just have a little chinwag between us. So, who wants to go first? Go on.
All right, then. Yeah, great. As you said, it's not in the movie, but it's a great opening track for the album. And it matches the whole theme of it, like the magic, vision and all this. But I remember as you said, it was in the film Iron Eagle, and I remember I haven't seen that film in years, but I remember I saw it 2, maybe 3 times, but I enjoy it. I like the film Iron Eagle. It's good fun. But yeah, it's a real good get you going sort of song, isn't it? This one, I remember
Screaming guitars.
Yeah, it just really.
It is so hard rocking.
Yeah. What I liked about this version in the album is it's longer. And it's sort of like the instrumental, the opening bit is longer. So it's like really building up, which is what they did best. And it just goes down, 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 boom. And they just start singing. And it's, great opening song. And obviously it's got a famous story to it where they were doing the lyrics. And Freddie's thinking, right, so these are the lyrics. And he wanted to do something funny based on his humor, didn't he? And his mate said, Freddie, you could get away with this. It's only you who could say something like this. Change the lyric at the end.
Yeah,
but at the end of this lyric, on here, it's one vision. He didn't go with that, did he? He says, just give me fried chicken.
Yeah, well, I think there's an interview with Roger Taylor, because I think he wrote it, but then all the other guys got involved, rejiggling stuff and all like that. And apparently the Rotter Freddie kept, when he was recording the songs, kept singing one shrimp, one chicken.
Yeah, he did.
Like this. And as a joke, just as joking about it, as you do. But as you can hear by the end of the song, they've kept fried chicken at the end of it.
Oh my gosh.
And it fits the humor that he had, his wacky sense of humor perfectly, because it's such like a powerful, strong song. There's all this stuff like Sweet Illusion, A Glimpse of Hope and Unity, real arts, deep and deep fried chicken. Huh?
Well, as far as I remember, this was the first single released after their Live Aid appearance.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Live Aid in
84.
85, middle of summer of 85, and this was released as a single in November of 85. I think there was influence with this song by what Geldof had done at the concert. One man, one goal, one vision. So I think that's where that sort of came from.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, you guys, over to you two. One vision.
I mean, it's, that's the other thing. I mean, it was great in the movie. It's a cheesy movie, kind of. It's like, half Top Gun and half Karate Kid or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a little cheesy, but it works.
Is it about a fighter pilot?
Yeah, it is. With Louis Gossett Jr., who was also an officer and a gentleman. But anyway, I mean, obviously they want to have a little bit of fun with the songs. It does come over as a little too sanctimonious, but it's just the rhythm of it, the harmony of it, the heavy metal. It's a little bit heavy metal, to say the least. I mean, I know a lot of people that didn't actually like Queen but love this song. They say, oh my God, this is so rock, And when he did it, I believe they did it on Live Aid, I believe, and it was just great.
No, they didn't.
I thought they did.
No, it wasn't recorded by them.
Well, I know I also saw a documentary where he was practicing it, and he was doing all sorts of vocal tricks and, going higher and lower on his voice. And a couple of people in the studio actually got annoyed, and the rest of the band's like, yeah, he does this. He's just practicing. He's just warming up. Don't get all bent out of shape. He's doing all this. He's doing like scatting. He's doing like la 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 la. He's doing all but he's using the one vision, and he's got a one vision, and all this other, all these other vocal exercises. So you see in the documentary, I wish I could remember the damn name of it, where he goes to it, and he is like an electric guitar. I mean, you are just, you know what I mean? I mean, he is ready to break the guitar. That's how loud he's singing. That if he could break it with his voice, he'd break it with his voice. It split in all pieces. And it was just great. I was like, holy is there anything this guy can't do? And I don't know if it's true about the rumor. I guess he was a failed He wanted to be an opera singer. And I guess when he did Barcelona, that song with the woman, and he was getting sicker, but even she was impressed. I mean, I've tried to see videos on YouTube with other, they've shown the concerts, or when he did Somebody to Love or whatever, and even they're going, damn, he's like an instrument. He goes super high, super low. He can rock and roll. So these are people that are doing like classical music, and even they're impressed. So I mean, talk about a compliment,
Yeah. Well, I love it. I think it's really, really rocking, and it's a great power piece to start the album. And I agree with Alex. It is heavy metal.
I can't believe it.
Queen wear rock. They wear rock.
Yeah.
I was making notes today, and it's such a shame because this album was mostly a success, single-wise releases. It was mostly a success in Europe. In the States, the songs didn't really do that well in the chart-wise or whatever it's called these days. But it still got airplay.
Yep, I heard everything, and I played everything. I was one of the ones playing it.
I can't believe it. It was on the Grand Theft Auto 4. Oh my God. What the bleepity bleep?
So, track 2 is the second single to be released. It was released in March '86, and it got to number 3 in the UK. It's the title track of the album, A Kind of Magic, accompanied by a brilliant video of Freddie and the guys. Well, the guys are down and out in an old play in a theatre, and then all the animation comes through and all like that. And this, as the cover depicts, of course, that a brilliant video. Played all the time. So you guys, A Kind of Magic. This was written by Roger Taylor, the drummer. This one.
It was gosh darn glorious. This song is, the melody and it's got a catchy thing that happens when, da 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 da, and there's a little lilt in there. Catches me off guard every single time I hear it. It's like my heart just it's so much. Anyway.
Cool.
It's like I said, some of the songs took a while to grow on me, but it's also nice because you have like an orchestra, you have, like I said, like classical rock music, that it isn't just something that's 2 minutes. It's not something that's just 5 minutes. This is like taking you on a journey. It's funny. It's like a song. It's a song. It's a story. It's a way that he sings it. It just like I said, it's like electricity. It just takes you, and it really works on you, and it works in the movie very well as well.
Oh yeah.
And also, I've also tried to do some of the songs karaoke, and it's very hard. You think it's easy. You think it's easy because you think you can, hear it. It's not that easy to sing. And like I said, he is like an instrument. So you have to realize the lows and the highs, and you have to hold the note. And it's not just for a minute. You have to hold it. Like Who Wants to Live Forever? You really want to give your...
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Slow down.
He's jumping the gun.
I know, right?
Ethan.
Yeah. Well, all I can say is this about Kind of Magic. It's my favourite Queen song by them, my favourite song on this album, and it's my favourite music video by them. It really is. This is my favourite song by Queen and one of my top favourite songs of all time. And it was one of these songs, after I've seen the movie Highlander, I watched it with my dad back in the days where MTV still had music. I caught the music video, luckily, and I was like, oh, it's a song from Highlander. Watched it, and it blew me away. I just love what they do in this music video. I've always loved real life mixing with, fantasy and animation, cartoon characters, and it was just such a powerful piece. And Freddie just looking cool, and all of them going from like rags to riches, and to me, rock gods. It just was brilliant.
Rock gods. I love the way you said that, Ethan.
Yeah, rock and roll gods. Yeah, they just were and as you said, this fits Highlander perfectly, because I know there's Princes of the Universe, but to me, this is the theme song of Highlander, because it's that famous line where he saved Rachel from the Nazi. He got shot, but he's still alive. And she goes, "You died. Why didn't you die?" Hey, no, she says, you're alive. Why didn't you die? Hey, it's a kind of magic. And he just jumps up still alive. And I saw it as a kid. I was like, oh my God. But wow. It just was, I used to sing this song as a kid. Well, when I was younger, probably like teens and stuff, like early teens, I used to sing this. And my mum always said, if there's one song she always thinks of, it's this song. Mm-hmm. But then again, things were different when I was a kid, but I try and see it now.
You don't want to be doing that with the cold you've got.
Yeah, maybe not. But overall, yeah, it's my favourite. It's just love.
This song does bring back good memories, because it was always played on the radio when it was released. It was just overplay, but it was still a great song. I mean, listen to the lyrics, one dream, one soul, one prize, one goal, one golden glance of what should be. This is a second track off the album. The first track, One Vision. One man, one goal, one. It's like, oh, there's a bit of a thingy going on here. This, one.
It's a perfect story of.
It's a perfect follow-on. And as you said, in this song as well, these things, there can be only one, which is part of the movie as well. Brilliant song. Proving as well, as I say, this was Roger Taylor who did this song, put it together, and proving well that it just wasn't Freddie who was the talent in the band. All four of them had the talent. So we'll go on to the third track, which, if I'm looking at my notes here, was released as a single in June '86 in France and Spain. Mm-hmm. Nowhere else. Just France and Spain. So it's 1 Year of Love.
Yep.
A slow down sort of ballad. Who wants to go with this one first?
It's so romantic.
Yeah, it's very. It's very. It's very.
No wonder the French and the Spanish love it.
Yeah, it is very romantic. It is very. I mean, that's the other thing. When the movie Highlander lets you down, or when it's so cheesy, or the dialogue is so cheesy, it's like the Queen music is so much fun. It brings you up. It just has electricity. So it kind of rounds out the movie. It kind of develops the movie, and it's
the kind of magic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is kind of mystical and wonderful and magical. That it's sort of. It is. It's like the underlying character of the movie, and it sort of says his heart and her heart and whoever else is around, just like an Iron Eagle. That's the thing. I mean, unfortunately, it's the We Are the Champions and what is it? We Are the Champions. They've kind of become like anthems a little bit. Mm-hmm. I know that's another song. It's not on this album, but it's kind of become an anthem, and it's so evocative. I mean, that's the thing. Freddie could take his voice and 95% of the time, just put you there. I mean, that's what a real singer's supposed to do. Just like a blues singer, just like an opera singer, they're supposed to, take you there. They're supposed to you are there thanks to their voice. Just hearing it, will transform you, transport you into, what they want for the song. And sometimes I wish I think I only heard like 2 or 3 versions of of like 3 songs where they were still practicing it, because people forget too. There's so many versions of a song that you have to play. Do you like this? Do you like that? You know, not just the live version. That's different. But I mean, there's so many. You know, that's the other reason why I was so mad about that idiot Vanilla Ice stealing it for his sort of low grade rap song and thinking he could get away with it. When that Under Pressure, I know that's another song, not on the album, but that song is so artistic and so different and so strong. And then you have David Bowie there too. So you even have the added bonus. If you want a little something different from Queen, we're going to give you David Bowie. You know, so I mean that's the thing. They were so experimental. They were so willing to try so many things, and they, you know, like I said, 99% were impressive. You know, I mean that's, you know, that's hard to do, whether you have a musical degree, college degree or not. I mean, they were one of the first college bands, and they really did good, especially when they started releasing albums. When they were practicing or before they became big, yeah, they weren't 100% perfect, but they got there. They got there 99%. I don't know about Adam Lambert. I got used to Freddie. I don't really want to hear too many other singers do the songs.
Well,
What do you guys think? Do you guys think Adam Lambert's okay, or?
I'll put it this way. Someone said to me, "Oh, Ethan, Queen are coming to town and stuff. Do you want to come and see them?" I said, "No, I don't want to." Who's the lead singer? Adam Lambert. I don't want to see them. Why? Because it's not the whole band. It's not Freddie Mercury. That to me. Adam Lambert, yeah, he's good, but he's not Freddie Mercury.
It's not the whole band anyway, because John Deacon doesn't play with them anymore.
Yeah, that's changed too.
So I mean,
yeah,
what you've got to look at is with Roger Taylor, Brian May, and Adam Lambert touring as Queen, it's keeping Queen alive.
Yeah.
It's giving you an experience of the live experience of the songs. They're keeping these songs alive.
Yeah.
Good thing.
Yeah, but I'd rather have Freddie. I'd rather have Freddie, and I'd rather have No, but thankfully they did record. You know, the other you know, tours that they had. You have the Live Aid, which was a great performance. You know, they were sinking in America after Another One Bites the Dust. You know, they really overplayed Another One Bites the Dust. And it was also popular because it had that bass line. It had sort of a rap type of, you know, sound to it and feel to it. Well, and it really got overplayed, and people were getting tired of Queen in America. And when they did the Live Aid, it just like re-energized the whole base in America. I mean, they came back.
Well, funny you should mention Another One Bites the Dust, because this song, 1 Year of Love, was written by the same guy who wrote Another One Bites the Dust, John Deacon.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Anything else? Who wants? Go on. Anyway, come on.
I was going to say, I didn't say, but yeah, no, 1 Year of Love, yeah, it's my second favorite track on this album.
Oh, we're going down that way. This is my third favorite. This is my fourth.
Well, it's one of these songs where I played the album religiously all the time, but there was always certain songs I would pick and go, play that one, play that one, play that one, play that one. But yeah, 1 Year of Love, I bloody love it. It's just one of the best love ballads, love songs ever. It's one of the most perfect love songs ever. And as you said, it's played in this is played in a movie, and if I remember rightly, it was the bit near the start, not at the start, but near the start, where he's in the bar, doesn't he? And Roxanne Hart comes in and talks about the sword, how did this happen? And he just walks away, and it's playing the song. But it's a beautiful love song. I mean, you've got a great saxophone solo bit. I'm a lover of sax and jazz. It has a jazz feel to it, perfectly mixed with their style. And I believe the saxophone player was Steve Gregory. Well done to him for that whole bit where he plays the saxophone. But yeah, it really is something I think many of us relate to, because we've all been in relationships, and it has lasted for 1 year. And it does. It's like all about, you know, even just 1 year love. It just gives you that energy and just At least you've got a good feeling. Say, I've had that feeling instead of just nothing. But it is just perfect. I love this kind of love song.
Well,
I'm a sucker for it, but
I mean, also as well, Queen, you know, they can rock out when they want, but they can slow it down, proving slow it down, take it steady.
Mm.
So, you know, they've got talent at either end of the scale.
Yeah, they could do it fast, but they knew how to do fast songs.
Yeah,
somewhat slow songs, but you know, they even knew how to do love songs. They really knew the works.
Yeah, true. Have we all had to say on this one? Yeah. Should we move on to the next track?
Yeah.
Which is another one what didn't appear in the movie, which is Pain is So Close to Pleasure, written by Mercury and John Deacon. A collaboration on this one. So over to you guys. Pain is So Close to Pleasure, which I can vouch for, but over to you guys.
I'm assuming that means Susan first. Darn.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I will say, yeah. It's a beautiful song. Got some sort of fun, bouncy bits, and that's really all I could say about Pain is So Close to Pleasure. Yes.
I can add to that. This was released as a single in August '86 in
Australia,
the USA, Germany, the Netherlands, and Australia.
Because it sounds like a bloody kangaroo.
But not in the UK.
Why? Where's my time machine?
Well, like I said, I mean, it is also interesting because it was based on a riff idea. It was also a little bit close to a Motown style. And, of course, Mercury sung it in falsetto, which is also interesting as well.
The ooh-oohs.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that was, that was interesting as well. I mean, some of it doesn't fit in with the actual movie, but it still fits in with the style of the movie and the thought behind the movie, which is great. I mean, think about how sad it would be if it had just been instrumental, or if it if it hadn't been done for Iron Eagle, for Queen, for Flash, for Highlander. I mean, think about how different those movies would be. Think about how much fun you wouldn't have if they had said, no, we're just going to do an instrumental, or no. And like I said, they were also in Metropolis as well. So it's funny how they started going into the very good reason. I mean, so many other people were complaining about all the other movies, I'm not going to mention them, in the 80s that started having heavy video play on MTV and other venues to really, sell the movie, publicize the movie, all that. Of course, it was a different time, and you didn't have the internet in most cases back then, or Facebook, or any of that stuff. And it's funny how, in a way, that idea of the soundtrack from the 60s to Saturday Night Fever to these guys started really sort of blending in the movie, blending in the soundtrack, selling it together almost as one unit. Yeah, but the thing is, the Queen and the Bee Gees did the best job of people remember both the movie and the soundtrack at the same time. Whereas the other ideas, other movies, it didn't do that, except for maybe Flashdance or a couple of others, where it's like it blends in so well that it actually becomes not only part of the movie and part of the story, but it blends it all. It's like a perfectly cooked meal. It just blends it together, and then you remember it. You don't forget it, which is just, it's a great idea, and it works so well. it's not super cheesy. It's not dumb. You don't go, oh, you know. You actually go, yeah, you know. That's I want to have the music and the movie together right now.
Ethan.
Yeah, gonna say it, my third favorite. But I'll only mention 4. Don't worry. But no, yeah, this is a great one because it's another one of these songs where I've said it with other albums. One of these little gems that they do, you know, different albums of different singers, obviously. Where be it a singer or a band, they do these little gems that you might say to someone who they may know Queen. And I've done this before where I've said, oh, I love Pain Is So Close to Pleasure. What? Oh, I've never heard of that one. But, you know, and I say, listen to this. And they're like, oh my God, that's a nice song. It is a really beautiful song, really bouncy. And as you said, it's got the Motown feel to it. The whole,
yeah,
it's a very relatable song. I love the lyrics to this one. The whole Pain Is So Close to Pleasure, which, very true thing. And it is a real feel-good song because it just does feel good all the way through. And you've got some great guitar riff moments in the middle. And near the end, that whole guitar bit, Brian May, where it goes up and then he plays it. My God, that's a brilliant guitar moment from Brian May. Fantastic. Yeah. Really beautiful. And as you said, it's not in the film, but it fits with the tone of the film and the style of the album and all that, you know, wanting pleasure and love, but, you know, there's pain with it, you know, but yeah, it's, you know, you could end up with pain and stuff, but yeah, fantastic song. That's all I could say about it.
What's the line? It's sunshine and rainy weather go hand in hand together all your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Many a true word.
Yeah. Just one, what was the line I just thought of there? The one I like as well, you know, I love the whole thing. Yeah, when I was young and just getting started, people talked to me, they sounded broken-hearted. Then I grew up and got imagination, and all I wanted was to start a new relation. And the whole lyrics are great.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The lyrics are fantastically written, which is just what they did best. They always told an amazing story.
Well, that's what they were good at, telling good stories. Now, the next track didn't appear in the movie either, so... And this was released as a single in the UK in June of '86. The next track got to number 14 in the UK charts. And for me personally, I think this was their '80s attempt to bring another "We Are the Champions" sort of anthem.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, this is, of course, "Friends Will Be Friends." This is it has got that sort of anthemic feel to it.
Yeah,
friends right till the end and all that. So
one of my favorite I'm going to jump in here. One of my favorite uses of this song is in one of the Doctor Who videos on YouTube, which shows every single companion, and it's just like, oh my gosh,
cool.
It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's a gorgeous song, and then there's this gorgeous imagery. It's just, yeah, that's what I say about this song. Friends will be friends.
I always remember the video to this was just a performance thing in a studio, but they invited members of the Queen fan club to be in the audience for the video. So all those guys and gals in the audience were, you know, fan club members. So, so you know, it's just Freddie on stage and the boys playing to the fans. So yeah, Friends will be friends. Let's go with that one then.
Yeah, no, and this is another, you know, song that again, it's different, it's interesting, it is beautiful and haunting, and they're able to do an anthem-like feel to it. But I mean, again, that's part of the fun of them being in those 3 or 4 movies, Iron Eagle and Metropolis and all that, is that they were able to. They and I know it wasn't in the movie, but it still has the same tone of the movie. And again, they're doing something different. Not all the songs are the same. They don't all sound the same, even if it's in the same soundtrack. And it's great that they were able to take their musical knowledge and their intellectual knowledge and just blend it with the instruments and the electricity. And because I've listened to the album, I'm like, wow, there's only 3 other people I can think of that can even compete with the way that this album is sounding. One of them being Stevie Wonder, and that's, only 3 people I can think of that could even pull off half of this, in terms of the sound and the instruments and the arrangement and the power and it's just, and that's pretty amazing when you're kind of in the top 10, you're in the top 5 of singing and playing and composing that has become classical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll tell you something. Alex has been very poignant today. Anything else on Friends Will Be Friends? Anybody?
Yeah. As you said, I can see what you mean about the whole 80s anthem theme. It does have that sort of anthem. Now that I think about it, yeah, it does.
What we're trying to do, I think.
Brilliant, fun music video. Yeah. Him just doing what he does best and just entertaining. Really colourful. I mean, this to me is one of the best, like, when you think of 80s music videos, this to me is one of them, just because of the colours, how happy and fun everything is, how dancey he is with everyone, and just, it's a great song. Really, really upbeat. It's a really upbeat.
Let me just check who wrote that one. Oh, it was Mercury and Deacon again on that one.
Oh, it was a Deacon, yeah. Yeah, that's right, Mercury and Deacon. But yeah, fantastic lyrics. Again, fantastic music video. It is just such an upbeat one. Friends will be friends. And this one just, it's one of my favourites. Great, colourful song.
Yeah, it's surprising me though, as I say, how many songs on the album were released as singles in different countries. It's like a greatest hits packet, mini greatest hits package, isn't it? This one.
Yeah.
So the next track was released in September '86 as a single in the UK. Mm-hmm. Only getting to number 24.
Wow.
Written by Brian May, but it's a very, the word's been used already, but it's a very haunting song.
Yep.
And now looking back on it, very poignant. Yep. Who Wants to Live Forever? So, over to you guys. Take it away.
Yeah. Haunting, poignant, and listening to it, I mean, no matter how many times I hear this hits me in the heart. Mm-hmm. And this was used in the film. And you can think of anything, but I'll think of some things. And I'll always think of that bit in the movie, how it is Who Wants to Live Forever. The immortals get tired of living for thousands of years. And it is just that heartbreaking scene. I remember this as a kid, and I cried my eyes out. They're getting, they're doing all right. Ramirez has just been killed by the Kurgan. And you think, oh, they'll be all right. But then you think, wait, no, hang on. And of course, she appears, his wife, old, and he's still young. But yeah, such a hard-hitting song in the heart. Beautiful music video, because you've got May singing this as well. And he's got a fantastic voice, amazing, beautiful voice. So it is a kind of a duet with May and Mercury. But they both sing it perfectly. And even the music video is haunting as well. But yeah, it is something we all relate to, and it does hit us in the heart in whatever shape or way or flavor or color. It just really hits us in the heart, this one. It is such a emotional song. But my God, what a brilliant one. Absolutely legendary one.
And I haven't seen the video, but I saw another compilation of imagery from vampire stories done to this song. And like the immortals, the vampires live forever. And it's fantastic. And it's I would say that that this one, more than Friends Will Be Friends, is the anthem for the 80s. Because, I mean, so many people were, like, dying, and that this is before he found out a diagnosis, but he was obviously seeing all of these people that he knew and loved, getting sick. Because, I mean, if you were in the clubs, I mean, like, there were tons of people who were getting sick then. And, I mean, I lost my first person to AIDS in about 87, and so I mean, it was right after this. So yeah, shoot, it's just, I don't know. Anyway, here's Alex.
Yeah, no, I've always liked this song. I mean, again, I understand that not everybody liked this album, and they said, oh, it felt plastic or maybe overarranged. But the thing is, again, they're forgetting not every band could even do half of this. Maybe Aerosmith could try, but it's too highfalutin for them. The Beatles are gone. The Beatles are gone, so they can't do it. The Beatles are gone, so they can't do it. The songs are too long for them. Maybe Stevie Wonder could do half of this probably, but he'd have to put more soul into it anyway, so it would change it. But again, even if you compare it to like a ballad what is it, Barbra Streisand or Celine Dion, it's cool that they decided to do it. It's cool that the two of them decided to do it together, and it did inspire people to do covers of it because it's just so majestic and so ethereal and so, and they put so much energy and spirit into the album that even if you think it sounds overproduced, it just they had other songs that were overproduced. They did. But
any band does.
Right. But here's the thing. They could do different versions. They could do it live. They put such energy and soul into it that there's so few people that can actually really even compete with them. So, and I think they knew that the band might be ending. I think they knew that this was going to be, the last soundtrack they were going to do. And I think they just wanted to be, let's go all out. Let's just let's just do what we can do. And, people don't like it, that's too bad. But I don't think so. I mean, has there ever been a Queen album that didn't sell 1 million copies? Was there ever a Queen album that everybody said that they didn't like, or most people said they didn't like?
I think one of the failing albums was Hot Space.
I was going to say it was Hot Space. It was Hot Space because I remember that in the movie.
A lot of people, I don't think, could take to the change in style of the music because it was more funky pop. But that was the album with Under Pressure on it. But all the other tracks was like Back Chat and Body Language.
Oh, that one. Okay.
So this song was done. I thought I'd heard it by somebody else, but I was wrong. But Sarah Brightman did a version of it, and Seal did a version of it that were.
Well, I think Seal sang it live at the Freddie Mercury tribute concert.
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I think Sarah Brightman. I'm not too sure, but I'm sure Brian May might have appeared on the Sarah Brightman version. I'm not too sure.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, he might have been playing the guitar, as he does. Right, have we've done that one, haven't we?
Yep.
Right, next track, another one written by Brian May.
Ooh.
What does that mean? Ooh. Give Me the Prize.
Yeah. Give me the prize.
I'd just like to say as well, there's a couple of tracks on this album where they've got part of the audio from the movie.
From the movie in the song.
Which I'm quite surprised in, as it's not a soundtrack.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did that and got away with it, but they must have asked someone. But yeah, give me the prize is the next one up. So
Right.
who wants to go on this one?
Oh, right. Reason I went, because if you want a really good theme for, well, a real good villain / supervillain, this one. I mean, just when it kicks off with that dum 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 dum, and this one is a full metal one.
Well, this is Kurgan's theme.
Yeah, the Kurgan's theme. That's what it is. But that's why you hear all the dialogue from him. You know, I have something to say. It's better to burn out than to brain away. You know, I mean, what a voice. That is one. I remember watching this as a kid. I thought that's a supervillain. That is a real villain. You know, with that voice, that is like true classic villain. You know, and Clancy Brown played that part absolutely perfectly. But yeah.
I adore Clancy Brown. Whatever he does,
he's fantastic. Yeah. Anything Clancy Brown does is gold to me. You know, he's just a fantastic actor. But this was the first time I've seen him, and yeah, he nails that part perfectly. But this song fits that evil, just how sadistic and evil and insane he is, and monstrous. He is just a big beast, isn't he? He's a big hulking beast. But this is like a full-on, like heavy dark metal track, and there's not a lot of lyrics on there. There's not a lot of lyrics. There's a lot of it. It looks like it on the book, but there's a lot of spaces in between where it's just, you know, instrumental. May really hammering it on the guitar, and you've got the dialogue from the film. You know, like a man's decapitated body lying on the floor. No one knows who it is. I know his name. You know, but yeah, like I said, if for me when I was a kid, the two best.
And that lyric leads right into the next song, which is that's so cool.
Yeah, he's just driving on the highway. You just see him looking at everybody arriving in the city. But yeah, when I was a kid, and they still are, the two best villain themes of all time for me, and they still are since I was a kid, were Party Man from Prince for Joker. I mean, that's a fantastic villain theme, Party Man. And this one, because it just was dark. It was, and it just, as you said, I don't know how they got away with getting the dialogue for this, since this wasn't a soundtrack for the movie. Hey, can we just borrow this? Thanks. Deep. But yeah, it's still a great tune. You know, a lot of it is an instrumental, but it shows that they're different, and they were good at doing classical rock, classical, and if they wanted to do metal, they could do it. You know, May was great on that guitar, so yeah. What a perfect supervillain theme.
I mean, again, you know, I know Queen had critics that said, you know, you're going too commercial or whatever. But I mean, they could do almost anything. I mean, there was, even when I've been able to get their albums and listen to different songs, and like, there's only been like 5 songs that I went, no, I don't like it. Only 5 songs out of all the other songs they did. And of course, I do think of them as sort of, you know, majestic, and Freddie is singing, and it's like a huge, you know, it's almost like a rocket or a plane taking off. You go, whoa, you know, that kind of power. But I mean, no band's perfect though. But there's only like 5 songs that I'd say, no, you know, I'm skipping that. But I mean, all the other songs, I don't know how many songs they did, but there's only 5 I don't like. That's still pretty good odds. But I mean, it's just, you know, I just really like their energy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Great. Nothing more on Give Me the Prize. And then we'll move over to one written by Mr. Taylor.
Yep.
With,
Roger.
Mr. Roger Taylor with incidental vocals by Joan Armatrading on it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's
Isn't this called Don't Lose Your Head?
Yep.
This was Don't Lose Your Head. Yeah, come into the recording studio and just sing Don't Lose Your Head.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's an interesting thing. Is that whole bit in the song before taken from the sound of the movie said was talking about somebody being decapitated. So of course the next song will be about
Don't Lose Your Head.
Don't Lose Your Head.
I always felt that this one was Ramirez's theme, Don't Lose Your Head, because he says to Connor McLeod, just remember, Connor, don't lose your head.
So good.
Because that's what he says in the film. And he even says in the end, his ghost, you know, the voice of his ghost says, remember, don't lose your head.
I don't know which impersonation he was trying to do there, but
Sure.
no, it was. That was nothing like him.
I'm practicing. Lovely party. Pretty ordered and invited.
It's so funny.
Okay, that's Ace Ventura doing.
Right. Close.
Alex, who
You get
loves.
what it was anyway, but yeah, on you go.
Well, at least he was better in this movie than in the Avengers, but that's a different movie.
You can tell which songs Roger Taylor does because the drumming is so infectious in his song. This is definitely a Taylor song because the drumming takes pride of place at front in this.
Oh yeah.
Anything else on Don't Lose Your Head?
Well, just yeah, it's just a great song. Again, this is another one of these gems where even maybe the most diehard Queen fan, like someone who thinks they're a diehard fan, goes, "Oh no, do you like that song? Don't Lose Your Head." What? Oh, have a listen. Oh wow, it's just like you said, it's one of these gems where they just did, and once you hear it, it sticks with you because it just is. Roger Taylor has center. No, he has the front. He's right in.
He's in the driving seat. He's in the driving seat. Yeah.
He's in the driving seat. Yeah. Spotlight on. Show us your magic. And you know, great song again. You know.
Well, I mean, the other thing that people forget, and I understand I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite because I don't want to listen to Lambert. Queen are musicians, so that means that not every single song has to be perfect. Not every single song has to be sung by the band members. Not every single song has to be done by Mercury. That was like my mother said. She told me from an early age, you listen to Queen, you'll almost never be disappointed because every song is different. Every song has soul to it. That's what she said. She said they're soul, but they don't realize it. And people won't realize it for a long. No, I mean, she said people don't realize that if they could, and the way that they play and the music they do, it should be around forever. That's how good it is.
True. So we'll go to the last track on the album. It was released as a single in April '86 in the US, in Canada, in Australia, and in Japan.
And yet you still don't get it.
In the UK, we are talking, of course, Princes of the Universe, written by Mercury. So over to you guys, Princes of the Universe.
The theme song of this album, and it's dynamic, and in our chat earlier, Harry was all like, "Yeah, the Princess of the Universe," like the minute you think he thought of this album, he thought of that. I, on the other hand, thought of It's a Kind of Magic, but that's because I'm more along the Ethan line than the Harry line. But anyway, this is just the way it goes. I really love Princess of the Universe, though. The one thing that is missing from the Princess of the Universe is when Corrigan slips into New York. But anyway, like that part in the movie comes after that. But anyway, it's just, not Corrigan. It was the band Queen that sang New York. But I don't know. It was good. So I like the dynamic in the song. It's
I'm glad you brought up the New York. Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah. That was a real good rendition by Freddie. When he's driving through.
Never ever been released on anything, that version.
That's a shame.
And the song that he did the whole song, and they cut out 20 seconds of it, and that's all you can find. That's all you can fucking find anywhere. I looked everywhere for it.
You never know. It may be gathering dust in Brian May's attic somewhere, or Roger Taylor's cellar. It may appear on a compilation in a few years. You don't know, but it's not been released at all.
I want.
Yeah, this is another great Majestic song, and it's great. It's it is. I mean, it's
super energetic.
It's
very nonchalant about how great stuff is.
No, because I don't want to sound like too excited. But it's just great. They even used it in the TV versions. They even used it in the TV versions of Highlander. I mean, basically, as I said before, try to play the Highlander film without any Queen music. It doesn't work.
There is no.
It doesn't work.
There is no.
There is a movie, but it doesn't work. It doesn't have the sexy, fun, energetic, powerful. I mean, even when Queen's being a little cheesy, which is fine. I mean, again, bands have great songs, okay songs. They have songs that are silly. The Beatles did. The Stones did. It's the fact that the songs last so long. It's the fact that they get so many fans. Not every song is going to be perfect. Not every song is going to be played. Not every song is going to be remembered. But like I said, you play Highlander without any Queen music, it's missing something. It doesn't work. It becomes a really cheesy, bad B movie with very little fun attached. But when you add the Queen music, just like with the Flash Gordon, once you add the music, you've added the spice. You've added the spice that helps. You've added the fun.
Yep.
And I've shown it to people, even without it. Just put it on mute, and you go, yeah, no, but you add the music back in. And you go, yeah.
There we are, the power.
This song, the video is Queen on a rooftop somewhere, Freddie's singing his heart out, and I'm positive Christopher Lambert's in the video.
Yeah,
because he ends up having a sword fight with Freddie. Have you had a go on this one, Ethan?
No. This is my fourth favourite.
Good for you. Well done. You rounded out your four favorites.
Yep.
Welcome to Ethan's lessons in how to count.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh.
See, I told you, vampires.
Dracula, eat your heart out.
I told you, vampires.
Yeah, but you had Kurgan, which I said was a great villain song. Princes of the Universe is, I remember hearing this as a kid, fantastic hero song. It really is. And I need to tell you a quick story. I performed this song as a kid in middle school or high school, whichever way. We had a competition called Stars in Our Eyes, and our school did a version of it. So I put my name forward, and I said Princess of the Universe. And they were like, oh, Queen, okay. But what I did was, being theatrical I am, I got my mum's friend, Jim, his trench coat. I got my toy sword, and I got one of the teachers to dress up as the Kurgan. And my mum helped out with the makeup and stuff, and she made this fake head. So during the instrumental bit, I would have a sword fight with this teacher, Mr. Bruce. He'd come on dressed like the Kurgan. We have a sword fight. And he goes behind a curtain, and I pretend to decapitate him. And I brought this fake head on with tomato ketchup dripping out of it. And I show it. And as soon as I threw the head, the head actually exploded with all this ketchup. It's like a head actually explodes. And there was one of the kids in the audience going, "No more detention!"
And I tell you something, you wouldn't be allowed to do that in school these days.
No.
You
No, it was brilliant. And everybody thought it was great. They were like, yay!
You'd be considered too violent.
Yeah, you won't be able to have a sword fight with a teacher or decapitate your teacher.
Yeah, he just went behind the curtain. I pretended to decapitate. That was it. Or an exploded head, which wasn't intentional. I just threw the head down, and the thing just went, pow, and all these bubbles of blood, ketchup came out. I was turned into Evil Dead now. But like I said, all the kids were like, yay! And I won the competition.
Cool.
Yeah, because you decapitated everybody else in the competition.
Because I remember they brought me on, they got all the cast, and they said, and the winner is, come on up, Highlander. And yeah, I was like, what?
You've gone too far, Highlander.
But yes, a fantastic song and one of the best. And as you said, used in the TV shows as the intro. Yeah. Great music video, but yeah, absolutely amazing superhero song. I classify Kind of Magic as a superhero song as well.
I mean, but here's the other thing. I mean, why can't they have songs that are funky and funny and, you know, anthems and party anthems? And I mean, they did almost everything anyway. I mean, I'm sorry that, you know, by 88, things had changed, but I still bought Queen music after.
Yeah.
You know, I still bought Innuendo and Made in Heaven and, you know, and I still liked it. I mean, it wasn't as great as the 80s and the 70s, but unfortunately, you know, Freddie had died, unfortunately.
What was it called? Queen of Heaven?
No, Made in Heaven.
Made in Heaven?
There's the one I could buy here.
Made in Heaven.
But I mean, and the thing is too, you know, what if you like their style? I don't mind Freddie belting it out. I want him to belt it out. I want him to sing his little. I want him to be the vocal plane that takes you on the magic carpet ride. I don't mind. That's fine.
Dang, dude.
I love it. I mean, you know.
You tell him.
I mean, you know. I mean, the White Album. You know, the White Album by the Beatles is silly too, but they have songs that you never heard on any other album. You know, Oh Darling, and Why Don't We Do It in the Road, more bluesy. I mean, you know, that's the thing. How many bands nowadays do different songs that you can say, oh, wow, I like that one for that reason. Oh, wow, I like this for, no, you don't really hear it anymore.
4 of them.
Yeah, you don't really hear it because it's not encouraged anymore. They just want songs to automatically sell, or they do it for a political reason. They don't do it for an artistic reason or say, come on, guys, let's have fun with it, you know. That's what music should be. It should be fun. And it's like now they're just doing it to sell records or to sell a persona or, oh, you know, it has to be popular. Sure, you can have popular songs too. But, I mean, Queen did almost everything. They did rap. They did blues. They did anthem. They did love songs. They did silly songs. You know, they did almost everything. I mean, sometimes even I said, wow, couldn't they compete with like, you know, Black Sabbath or other, you know, other groups?
They did.
That, you know, are very, you know, even if they're different. And Queen even did heavy metal. So, I mean, they did almost everything.
So because he mentioned Black Sabbath, the only other real intellectual songster was in Iron Maiden. The lead of Iron Maiden was like a history professor, and Brian May was a doctor. I mean, it's just that was pretty sweet.
Well, yeah. Well, you're talking about you're on about Bruce Dickinson, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm on about Bruce Dickinson.
Yeah. He's a pilot. He's an Olympian fencer.
I had no idea.
Oh, he's done everything.
But Brian May is pretty dang intellectually astute, as it were.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, his guitar. As soon as you play a song with Brian May included it, you know straight away that's Brian May. The sound is so distinctive.
Yes.
Nobody else in the world sounds like Brian May.
True.
Yeah, he had his own. You could tell it's him instantly.
Unique sound.
Yep.
But it's a unique band.
Yep. And the greats really are. There's like Jimmy and Jerry and Brian and so like the greats, you can totally, they each have their own their own thing.
Mm. And as the title of this album, A Kind of Magic, they had the magic, they bottled it, and they knew how to use it.
Cast a spell.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you say to critics that said that this was kind of plastic, it's overproduced?
Rubbish.
Because I mean, this is the other thing. How many albums did they do? 14, 16?
This was the 12th. They did The Miracle after this one.
Made in Heaven.
Innuendo, Made in Heaven.
Yeah.
So 15.
Yeah. So
to be honest,
I mean, it would be boring if it was all just A Night at the Opera. As much as I like that, it would be boring if every single album was the exact same of that.
You've got to change it. I mean, that's why I admire. I mean, she hasn't got the big fan base as she did have, but that's why I admire Madonna, because she changes. She changes her music. Like Bowie, he changed. He changed his music. He changed, you know, you got to keep everything fresh.
I mean, as you were saying, you know, they change their genre, but the artist, the way that they play their instruments is the same.
Yeah.
I mean,
they grab a genre and they make it their own.
Yeah. So to all the critics saying that this was like plastic and whatever, bugger off. It's not. It's awesome. It's Queen.
No, I mean, like I said, I mean, I guess there was like 3 albums that a lot of people, like you said, Hot Space. I don't know if people like The Game as much.
Heck yes.
And The Kind of Magic. But the thing is, they're musicians. They're not going to play every single song you love.
Yeah.
Hopefully a lot of them, but that doesn't mean they have to play. You know, think about how boring. I mean, I love Bohemian Rhapsody, but it'd be boring if they did the whole thing for years. And they did even better than that anyway.
Yeah. And that's the magic they've left behind.
Apparently, Ethan thinks that It's a Kind of Magic is better than Bohemian Rhapsody.
Well, yeah, I mean, like Lee said, you know, you can't stay in the one song forever either.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I love Bohemian Rhapsody. It's a legendary song, but, you know, that's the magic they've left. You could talk to anybody and they'll say, oh, my favorite song's Hammer to Fall. Or my favorite song is, you know, Another One Bites the Dust. You know, that's the thing. Everybody has a favorite song. Obviously, mine's A Kind of Magic. But that's the magic they've left. Each song you always remember. Each song stands out. It's not just one. It's God knows how many.
Well, yeah, if it was 15 albums, and I don't know if it's, you know, 10 songs or – because it used to be a lot of songs back in the old days.
No, yeah.
It wasn't all 4 or 8, and that was all you had, and then you had to release another album. I mean, back in the old days, you could have 12, you could have 15, you could have – you know, just like with Sgt. Pepper, you have a reprise, you have a medley. Just like with the Beatles, you have two versions of a song called Honey Pie.
Yeah,
and all that.
When they released the CD of this, they released instrumental versions of A Kind of Magic and Forever and
Friends Will Be Friends
and
Will Be
Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, so it's a, you know, it is sort of a shame that a lot, you know, it's not that nobody does it now, but it's very rare now to find bands that are willing to experiment and release a lot of songs on an album and do everything different, especially.
Yeah, you've got to admire a band what takes the risk. Take a risk and go with it. Go with your instinct. And that's what these bands like Queen and people like mentioned Madonna, Bowie, they took a risk. And there's other bands as well what do it, but these days it's just middle of the road, just rubbish.
Well, yeah, it is.
No, I mean, no, but it's not all bad. But the problem is, it's very how quickly can we play it for 2 minutes? How short can we make the song? There's like 5 writers now, and they're trying to do 30 songs, and they all sound very similar. It'd be one thing if there was 5 songs that were similar, or a certain phase that they were going through. But the problem is, you have to hunt for really different songs now. You actually have to hunt. You have to go to a college station. You have to go to bands that play long songs, not just 2 minutes or 3 minutes. No.
College stations like KJLT.net.
Yeah. But the problem is, that's why I shared it with you guys too on YouTube, that they showed that it's like the same 5 to 10 people, and they're releasing the same thing. Yeah. But again,
it's back to Queen.
Right, but you want to hear different stuff. You want to hear you have the Beatles, you have the Stones, you have Queen.
Back to Queen.
Right, no, but I'm saying
back to Queen.
Right.
Reel him in, Susan. Reel him back in.
I know, but I'm just saying. No, but there's only like 5 songs that I go, I don't like, but not on this album.
Okay.
Not most of their I'm saying all together.
Okay.
There's only 5 songs that I don't like of theirs. And that's pretty good.
That's awesome.
Right.
And you were a good singer on their music, so.
Yeah.
So we've come to the end of this now. So the way I score these albums is the number of tracks. There's 9 tracks on the album.
Mm-hmm.
So out of 9, what would you score Queen, A Kind of Magic album? We'll go to Susan and Alex first before we go to Ethan. So out of 9.
Well, like I said, I mean, I actually listened to this at work, and it was a little I shouldn't have done it because it's too majestic. It's too ethereal to listen at a cold cubicle. It's too majestic. But yeah, I mean, I love most of it. I love the way they did it.
So what would you give it out of 9?
I mean, again, there's other albums of theirs that I like better, but I'm still gonna give it an 8.5 at least. And like I said, I love it.
That's a good one.
It helps the movie as well. And even if it's not in the movie, it's in the TV show. Yeah. And even if it isn't in the TV show, you got the videos. I mean, I like, Night at the Opera, Day at the Races, Flash Gordon themes as well.
You just love it.
All that. Yeah, no, I do. I like them a lot. Because, like I said, they have an energy, like the Beatles too. They have an energy that you just don't forget it. It's nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's not bad. He did 8.5 out of 9 there, so there's only
I'm
half.
going to give it a 9.
Susan gives it a 9. Full house for Susan.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, and I really love like I said, I play the whole thing over and over, and so it's a beautiful, beautiful album. I'm glad we got to review it.
Okay, so guys, while we're ending, what would you say?
Okay, just let them finish their scores.
I know. I want them to say it at the end. What other Queen albums do you guys really like as well? Because this isn't the only one, right?
Oh no, that's the only one. But we'll go. Ethan, what's your score first? And then.
Well, does it really need answering? 9 out of 9 magic stars.
9 out of 9. I know it's a weird way of marking it, but I think it's a good way because there's only so many tracks. Do it that way; it's easier. Cool. I'm going to go 9 out of 9 as well. It's just an awesome. It brings back great memories of '86. So, other favourite. I like all Queen albums.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same.
Even Hot Space. It's got some good songs on there.
Yeah, Back Chat. I love the song Back Chat.
Well, what about now? We can always talk about the other famous songs like "We Will Rock You." Great energy on that as well. "We Are the Champions," very soulful. It's that has become an anthem as well in America. You have another one, Bites the Dust, even though that was overplayed, but it had great energy in it, and a great structure and bass line. What else? I like Bicycle Race, even though that's a silly song, but the energy, the energy of it, yeah. Fat Bottom Girls, and they go, well, that's not politically correct. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't get. I still play it out the window.
Yeah. You know, Fat Bottom Girls, and what else? One Vision, like we just mentioned, and what else?
You know what I mean? There's so many great songs by this band.
Killer Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody. What else? Keep Yourself Alive. All that.
Yeah.
It's just one big concert from Queen. When you put an album on, it's just it just blows your mind.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, it's one big concert. Nice.
One big concert. So we have come to the end. We have come to the end of this. Talking of A Kind of Magic, we've scored it. We've enjoyed going through all the tracks. We were talking beforehand about just the band in general. So I'd like to thank Alex and Susan from Boston, who absolutely love Queen, and they absolutely think Queen are far superior to Aerosmith. That is
ouch.
Gonna get us into trouble.
And, I'd like to thank Ethan. He suggested this album we would do it because I listen to fools like him. And you guys out there, if you want to get involved with these sort of reviews, we do albums. Not often, but we do get around to doing some albums. And we do audio dramas.
Right now we're doing Sapphire and Steel.
Yeah, we're doing Sapphire and Steel in a week's time. We do movies, we do TVs. Movies we do from silence. We've done silent movies. Up to
20
movies,
20 to 2020.
We do obscure TV stuff every now and again. So if you want to get involved, leave us a message. We'll try and get back to you. Leave a comment on the videos you see. Let us know what you think. If you've got a suggestion of what we could review in those sort of genres, let us know. So apart from that, there's only one thing you have to do is on the YouTube, ding that bell. You get them notifications. Ding, ding. Get the notifications. Videos. I mean, we put a video maybe 2 or 3, if you're lucky, a week. That's good enough for me. So you guys, thanks for being here. I love doing these casts.
Me too.
Because it keeps me off the streets.
Brilliant.
If I get out of the streets, I never get back. So
get in trouble out there.
What do you get up to on your nights out?
I do, but you don't want to know about that.
Tell me. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
But until next time, thank you for watching. Thanks for you guys being here. So, bye for now.